Hello, friends. Welcome into Houston Texans today. I am Tom Downey here with the Week 3 recap as the Texans come up short on Thursday Night Football against the Carolina Panthers. Final score in this one, 24-9. It was, of course, the first start for rookie quarterback Davis Mills. The Texans offense really outside of that, halftime drive where Mills looked pretty darn good. They didn't have much, if anything, going on offense, especially on the ground. We'll get into that. The Panthers offense almost had two brutal fumbles that could have really changed the game for Houston, but Sam Darnold, D.J. Moore, that connection was on fire. The middle of the field, for whatever reason, for Houston on defense was simply not covered as the Panthers, they cover against the Houston Texans. They cover that spread, 24-9 the final. A not great showing out of the Houston Texans in this one, which is a pretty big disappointment. So let's look at the offensive side of the ball now for Houston, which they didn't have much going. 9 points scored, 193 total yards. They had no running game to speak of. They could not run the football. They tried repeatedly to run the football on first downs, and it wasn't going anywhere. They asked their young quarterback to make a bunch of plays on third downs and in not great situations. Ended up not working out very well. Defensively, this could have been a different game. Sam Darnold was hit twice, fumbled the ball twice, was lucky the Panthers recovered both of them. One of them could have given the lead to the Houston Texans at halftime, but Darnold got lucky. The pass defense was a big issue for Houston. We knew that was going to be the case going in. Didn't have Justin Reed. The corners are banged up. No Terrence Mitchell. The Houston Texans defense had a very tough time, in particular, covering the middle of the field. And that led to a big-time loss, or at least a big loss for Houston, but they were a pretty big underdog even on Thursday Night Football. So I want you guys now to grade the Texans' Week 3 loss. Be honest with me. How you feeling about the Texans in this one? A, B, C, D, or F? No wrong answers, but get your votes in for me in the comment section. Let's look in depth now at the play from Davis Mills, his very first career start, and it was a interesting one. Some pluses and minuses out of Davis Mills in this game. I saw some flashes, in particular, as I kind of mentioned, that halftime drive where Mills marched down the field, was able to air it out, delivered a great strike for the touchdown. That was impressive, at least to me. But he was also inconsistent. I do think part of this should be held against the Texans' offensive coaching staff and the game plan and the play calling. I don't think Davis Mills was set up to really thrive. They asked him, while being limited on early downs, to bail them out on third downs. I honestly would have rather seen a bunch of short, quick passes on early downs, allow Davis Mills as a rhythm passer to get in the flow like he was on that halftime drive, and not ask your quarterback to bail you out on third downs. With no ground game to speak of, Houston probably should have abandoned that a little bit earlier. So I want you guys to rate Davis Mills' first start for me. Scale it 1 to 100. 1 being you thought he was a disaster, you want to play Jeff Driscoll next week. 100 being you think he's the GOAT, which, it's definitely somewhere in the middle. Get your votes in for me right now in the comments section. Now, some of the more nerdier-ish stats from Davis Mills. Completion percentage, 67.9, was very solid. His XComp, by the way, the expected completion percentage, was actually 62. So almost 6% better. That's good for Davis Mills. Yards per attempt, not great. Very low. Was consistently throwing the ball behind the first down marker, which, again, is more often a play-calling thing. Did take 4 sacks. You want him to process quicker. That's going to take some time. QBR was actually pretty decent, 57.5. There's your 1 to 100 scale if you want to go that route. Overall, I thought Davis Mills looked like a third-round rookie in an offense that doesn't have a ton of dynamic playmakers not named Brandon Cooks. It wasn't bad. It wasn't perfect either. There is still some room for Davis Mills to grow. I think there's a decent chance he gets the start next week. I would like to see a more expansive playbook for Mills beyond just running the ball a lot, early downs, and then asking Mills to kind of bail you out. I don't think there's anything positive or negative that should really change how you feel about Davis Mills versus how you thought about him pre-NFL draft or immediately after the Texans took him if you don't pay attention very much. But still some room to grow for a young, raw quarterback. Texans fans, let's get to 1,000 subscribers here on our Houston Texans channel. We've got 804 currently. Not bad. It's behind our Titans channel, though. We didn't do a Jag channel. Come on, guys. But we're behind our Titans one. So let's get to 1,000. Hit that big red button and subscribe today. I wanted to highlight two young, promising defensive players, beginning with Ross Blacklock, the former early second-round pick out of TCU. He had his first career sack and forced fumble against the Carolina Panthers. And in a more limited rotation role, Blacklock has shown some promise. I actually think this defensive scheme change has been a good fit for him, so that's a nice little positive boost there for Houston. It looks like the second-year jump, given that there really wasn't much production previously, is here for Blacklock. Now, I don't think the Texans trust him yet against the run. The snap numbers kind of bear that out. But 2 tackles, a sack, a forced fumble, that's good stuff in a very small role. Also, his pressure rate, 25%. Now, the Texans' entire defensive line picked on a not great Panthers offensive line, but still, you want to see growth and flashes from a young player. The Texans got that from Ross Blacklock and from Charles Omenihu, the former Texas pass rusher. Now, no sacks in this one, although there was a very clear hold that would have led to a sack for Omenihu, so give that a big-time check mark there. Omenihu has shown promise over his first 3 years. This is now his third year, excuse me. I think that a breakout from both Omenihu and Blacklock would be a big friggin' deal for the Texans long term. These are the young players you're hoping show more promise. So 2 tackles for Omenihu in this one, 1 quarterback hit, a 31% pressure rate. That is obscenely high. I think the next step for Houston, the organization, is to play these guys more. Look at the week 3 snap counts in Houston, right? Malik Collins, at this point, journeyman defensive lineman, nice player, but still has room to grow. Jacob Martin, okay. Jonathan Grenard also played very well. Kind of all these guys did well against, again, not great Panthers defense or offensive line. I like playing Grenard. Roy Lopez, okay, they're kind of using him a bit more as a run stopper. Whitney Merciless feels like trade bait at the deadline, given his age and where the Houstons are in a rebuilding process. Jaleel Johnson, though, outsnapped Ross Blacklock. That doesn't really make sense given that the Texans cut him originally. Omenihu and Blacklock, 25-23 respectively. Now, I know that the defensive line is always going to be a rotation. I'm on board with that. I get that. However, I'd like to see those 2 guys get maybe 35, 33 snaps moving forward to get them on the field more because they are young. They fit the timeline for this Texans team over the next couple years. So with everything in mind here, who gets the week 3 game ball for the Houston Texans? Not the ground game. What player? You can go with a coach, I guess, if you want, but David Culley was a coward this week. So who gets the week 3 game ball? Get your votes in for me in the comments section.